Hello, welcome back to Auction Spy. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I would like us to spy on this property in Middlesex, 176 Stanwell Road. It looks very interesting. It has a medical history to it and has some upper parts. And as we go through some of the pictures, you start to see some of the different ideas that you can explore in order to extract value from this property. Now, I don't know if it's going to be profitable or not, which is part of this exercise. So we'll go through, and you can listen to me think out loud and see if I'm making any mistakes. And please do put some comments down, or just send me some feedback if you do things differently. I don't know it all. I'm just spying on properties and learning, as well as you potentially learning from me. An update on the two properties we spied on last week. Cable Street sold. Yes, it's sold despite the coronavirus, despite everything. But I thought it would sell because it's empty, and it'd been withdrawn from the February auction and brought back in on the 7th of April. So that's quite interesting. It meant that they'd sorted out all the issues. But it sold for 1.37 million. Very good. Well, we'll go back to that video at some point and see why they've offered £260,000 higher than the guide price. Very interesting, but it did look profitable, and I'd imagine it's in the profitable end of Cable Street. Now, the second property on Coombe Road, which is a flat, the top floor flat, it was withdrawn before the auction and re-entered at £10,000 lower, i.e. the guide price was when it was put back in was £130,000, so £10,000 lower. I don't know what's happened with it since. I haven't seen it sold yet, so I'd imagine it's either going to be coming in a future auction, or they might have to withdraw it again. I am receiving emails in connection with that property because I downloaded the legal pack, so they stay in touch. But without keeping you too long, let's look at this one, this 176 Stanwell Road, Ashford. Okay, so let's look at the pictures. So freehold building, 3 floor, arranged as ground floor, former medical and upper part with parking space and garden development. Okay, so this looks like your traditional house. Perhaps the owners just ran it as a GP. It does need a bit of work, well, a lot of work actually, but it feels like it's in a largely residential area. And if this is the top part of the building, i.e. the loft, and there is head height, there is a bathroom in there, so I wonder if it was a surgery downstairs and residential on the top 2 floors. It looks fairly large. This is the rear. Look, man, there's so much you can do with this. Under permitted development, next door has extended quite far back, so you might be able to do the same here. But let's have a look. So TW15 3QS. Let's see if there's any EPC for this property. TW15 3QS. Just looking at the EPC register. So we retrieve report using property address TW15 3QS. Okay, Stanwell Road. There isn't one. Okay, so 176. There's no 176. Okay, all is not lost. We'll just have to rely on the images here. Okay, so let's see if I can zoom into here. Yeah, so it's saying the total size is approximately 191.8 square meters. Okay, I'd imagine that includes the top floor. So second floor has a bedroom. Wow. Okay, so second floor has 2 bedrooms, a landing, a bathroom, no kitchen. Okay, that could be a flat potentially. What size is it? Trying to enlarge this 33. Okay, it'll be a studio then, quite small. And then the first floor, 72 square meters. Ground floor, say 80 or 90 or whatever. So that's fairly interesting. Okay, so let's keep going. I think they're pitching this as a development opportunity, and I think that's the most obvious thing you can do with this. What development you choose to apply, I suppose it's up to your experience and what you want. But okay, right, let's go from this EIG site to the actual catalog entry. Oh, is this it? Right, okay, exactly. So great scope for the following: D1 use, so it's former D1 downstairs, so there's no permitted development to anything residential, but you've got residential upstairs. So I'm not quite sure how you'd deal with the planning on that. So you've got C3, so it can also be used as HMO and has planning granted for the erection of a part single story, part 2-story rear extension, installation of rear facing dormer, and conversion of property from C2 residential institution to C3 to provide 4 flats. Interesting. Okay, so there is planning for 4 flats. Right, let's see if we can find what they've got planning for. So you see, this is all part of the research you'd have to do before you even step out of your house to do viewing. So Spellthorne planning. Okay, so people will be searching for that as well. There's a search. Permission. Okay, where is it? There's usually a search button on these pages. Let's see if it's on the portal. Search for the permission that's been granted. Change of use. Let's see what that says. Okay, so every borough has has different ways they present this their website if you want to do a search. So, oh, there you go, planning applications there. Excited. Right, not there. Let's go back. Why is it so difficult to find this information here? I thought. So I go to planning. I want to search. What do I do? Recent planning applications. Oh, there you go. That was a bit of a task. Oh, straight. Okay. Alright, so what we know is it's been decided. Important dates, how long did it take to get planning? So it's validated 2105. was it decided? Decision made was 1607. So yeah, not bad. Not bad. Okay. Maybe they do decide within the 8 weeks in some places. Okay. Do we have any SIL? So SIL liability notice. Existing gross internal area philosophy to retain is 216. Proposed new that. So SIL would be 40. The SIL chargeable area will be 48 square meters. Okay. So 48 square meters at £140 per square meter. Yeah, so that adds to your cost. Right. Okay. Erection of a flat single. Oh, it actually works it out for you. So £8,000, £8,640 for SIL. So the council. Alright, so the next thing we want to know is what was applied for and what was granted. Seems an awful lot of documentation for what seems to be a fairly simple application. And time I see asbestos reports, just wonder what's going on. Alright, let's see. Application form, where is it? There's an awful lot of research that has to go into each one. Proposal, okay, to provide 4 flats. Does it not tell us what type of flats? There's usually all this stuff that tells you, gives you the conditions. So cycle parking, okay, landscaping. Boundary treatment, refuse. Okay. There shall be no raising of existing ground levels on the site. Okay, so I wonder why they've got this. To prevent the increased risk of flooding due to impedance of flood flows. Okay. Then we have invited. Right. Okay. Desktop study carried out to identify and evaluate all potential sources and impacts of contamination. Right. Is that because it's a former medical facility and they reckon that there could be some hazardous materials there? Yeah. Okay, so all these things will add to your costs, your professional fees for the construction. Okay, it's all standard stuff. But where is the schedule for flats? But what kind of flats? I want to know if they are 2 beds, 3 beds. Let's see what this one's saying. just says 4 flats. Interesting. So you need to read this to see what kind of flats you're going to be building. I don't see anything to suggest there will be an okay, is there? Let's see this bit. Okay. Other documents. What's this? So it's full plan application. Conversion and an extension. So the flats will be fairly large, there won't be just one. Following refusal of our client's previous plan application and our subsequent email dialogue have now been addressed. So what I was trying to get before was 5 flats. Then I've got 4, so 3 1-beds and 1 2-bed. I finally found some information. So 3 1-beds and 1 2-bed. Okay, so he'd applied for 5 before, it was rejected, and now reduction in the number of flats means he's able to get his planning and complete the build. Okay, so the total floor space floor area here was 268. I think I got that from the seal calculation sheet. Was it 264? Okay, so 264 square meters. You'd see why that's important in a bit. Right, so we spent quite a bit of time looking for little bits of information here and there. The next thing we need to look at would have been the legal pack. Let's see if there's a link to the legal documents. Right, okay, so any special conditions? Just so that this video doesn't go on forever. Let's see. Oh, there's an EPC. Oh, it might have been under the commercial part of the EPC website. Floor area, okay, 209, which is different from what's in the paperwork. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have to extend, aren't we? So flood report, drainage and water, register, calculation sheet. These are the common ones. Is there anything to suggest? What document is this? Change the use from dwelling house to shared residential accommodation on single story rear. This one's a very interesting one. I don't see anything other than, oh gosh. Right, so again, read this. These are the common ones, so this applies to everybody. I see 10%. I suspect that's for deposit. You generally would have to pay something towards the seller. Okay, right. So we carry on. An appraiser site, so TW15 3QS. We go into Valap, yeah, so this is a tool I use for appraising different strategies. Let's go in there, start appraising. So I click add new, TW15, 3QS. Good. 176 selected. Again. Property price for 600,000. Commercial. Auction. Okay, see for appraisal. Okay, so on this one, there's a bit of build, there's a bit of conversion. I would go for the conversion option, and then we'll tweak the build costs upwards. Okay, so 264. Let's just make that 300 because it will reduce it. Go for quick. Right. Okay. It's not good, is it? It's all red. All right. So which one's the highest? This one. Why does it think this one is? Okay. Let's go to the scheme. Right. So total cost of build it has put at 345. All right. That's interesting. But we know there are 3 number of bedrooms, 1, and there are 3 of those. And then there's 1, nope, 2. Right. Okay. So 264. Total size 264. Nearly there. Let's get this one a bit boost. Yeah, come to think of it, these flats might be fairly small. Trying to get this figure here to 264. So just okay, right. Expand this to give us some real estate. So 345. It's saying that our offer amount should be 345,000. Interesting. The guide price is 600k. Now let's see what we're working with here. All right, so there's a fairly wide range of prices in that area. So this from 453 to from 260 to 635, but that's the whole area. Let's get sold prices just for sold price average is 307,000, top 400k, stock for sale. Yeah, stuff for sale is slightly lower. You'd expect that due to the current climate. Right. For a 1-bed flat, let's look at that and see what that will give us. TW15. Bed. Nothing in that area. Okay, so that's 220. Okay, these are not new flats. This one is 280. Wow, this is quite nice. Is this 280 shared ownership or just help to buy? Okay, so I suspect this price might be fairly I'll go with that. for our 2-bed. Get the sold price. Is there a premium for new builds? This is new build 280. We don't know what the market would be like when this product is built and released, but as of today, I suspect this 280,000 is factoring in the current climate, coronavirus, people not able to do viewings, and essentially the market has contracted. But even if we're very optimistic and we went for the top ones, so 400k there, and then this is engineering the figures, you're still struggling, I think, to get that price. I imagine this property will sell for higher than 600,000, especially if you can build it for less than that amount, and I think you can. So all you have to do is an extension on the ground floor and refurb the rest, 300,000. So again, this is something it's worth taking a builder with you to the site. We haven't factored in the sill here. The sill is £8,000. If we save that, you can go to the assumptions page. Sill would be, let's look, authority sill came in at 8640. Right, so that works out at roughly £28 per square meter. Right, so that's come back down to 598, which is okay, but yeah, this is unrealistic. I think 405 grand for a 1-bed, albeit that the size, without knowing what the size of the bedrooms of the flats are, 65 square meters is the size of a 2-bed really, and 70 is close to a 3. And the 264 was for everything in the building, wasn't it, including a communal space? So perhaps I could take this back down to about 50. Take this one down to about 61. Yeah, okay. Maybe make that 65. Right, and then we'll change this, because I don't think you'd be able to sell that for 400k. What was right, let's say 280 for that. Okay, we could decide to increase this to make it 280 as well. That, and then with this one, it's about 320. Apply that, so that gives you 378. Now, places where this figure may actually be too high, you might consider reducing your developer's profit. So if we take that down to 20%, and that goes up, 20% tends to be the industry standard, but it doesn't leave you with much legal wiggle room if you're not able to sell. You can't refinance, because a lot of refinancing companies will probably want you to have about 25% equity. So let's put that 25%, so that's 400. I suspect it wouldn't cost 288,000. If we change this to 1,000, again, you must verify this with the builder. So that brings it up to about 500. Okay, so it makes that 200k. Are there any other areas we can save? I can't see us saving it in any area to the tune of 100 grand. So the only thing would be you start chipping away at your profit, and your profit isn't that high. So 289. You've got a contingency of 5%, which is 10 grand. That easily disappears. Your community infrastructure levy is 8640. Professional fees, again, you saw quite a few reports, floods and asbestos, so you might be able to save on that because all the plans are done already. You can just go in and start building straight away. What's this? Finance, yeah. I generally don't like to touch the finance because you just don't know what you're going to get for bridging. So again, once you've done all of this research, you then decide for yourself if you go for the auction. If you do all the viewings, you get a solicitor to review the legal pack so that your back's covered, and then you make a move. Now, it may well sell for 500,000. We don't know what the reserve. Well, the reserve would be within 10% of 600k, but if it doesn't meet that reserve, the vendor might still sell. So these are things to think about. For me, I don't think this works at that £600,000 guide price. It works at 500,000, and that's being generous with the prices for which you'll be able to sell your 1-beds and the 2-bed. So do let me know your thoughts. I don't think this will work as a buy-to-let. Let's look at some rents in the area. Okay, so generally it's between 127 and £300 a week. Alright. So depending on the kind of funding you've got, there might be something there, but I wouldn't. I suppose it's worth looking at. Let's see. Estimated for 2-bed is 330,000. Okay, so if we purchase that 330,000, put down a 25% deposit. So this is for a 2-bed. Your cash flow is only £98. Jeez. Okay. So we're using a finance of 4%. Return on investment is 1%. Okay, that's because the rent is 1157. Your mortgage is 827. Then when you factor in management fees, maintenance amount, and voids, it comes to 1058. Yeah, so that's for one of the units. But again, you'd have to have 25% left in. So again, I don't think this is that great. If you're generous enough to go 4 times that, then the cash flow is £400 a month. You got 4 properties. So this one's probably looks like one that you have to build to sell. And okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for taking the time to watch through till the end. Do subscribe and leave comments. I do appreciate every single comment I get, and I'm learning from it as well as yourself. So do have a good week, and catch you next time.